moving to his right. He is now scrambling, and he's going to get a first down. And now gets hit late. He gets hit late.
I didn't expect to be able to run very much, just from the way it felt. But the training staff, Julie, did a great job.
Butker's kick is up. The spinning kick high, floating in the air, and it is good. This game is over. You can't doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike and disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes shows up, starts at quarterback, 5 straight AFC championship appearances that they host. He's Superman. He's going to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in 5 years, almost 4 and 5, not for a pre-snap penalty, right? And he was taken to the wire by who? Joe Burrow. Right, wins the national title, greatest game, greatest season ever. Gets to the Super Bowl his first year as a starter, Superman. Who's in the Super Bowl for the NFC? Jalen Hurts, Superman. Right? These are the guys who are getting to Super Bowls and winning Super Bowls. Can you still win in the NFL without having an MVP caliber quarterback? Josh and Raleigh, you're on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Hey, first of all, man, I love y'all, and I think I speak for most of America.
Appreciate that, man.
But if you look, hey, thanks. If you look back the last, 18, 20 years, it's all Hall of Famers. 1 from Rodgers, 2 from Big Ben, 2 from Eli, 2 from the other Peyton, and then 7 from Brady. And then you got, Nick Foles, sprinkle him in, Matthew Stafford. So, yeah, long story long, you got to have the man to win the chip.
And Carson Wentz was an MVP caliber guy up until he got hurt, and then Foles took over. So it's like a combination. And Matthew Stafford, I'll say again, #1 overall pick, considered an elite arm talent basically his whole career.
I can't listen to y'all.
Why is he? First off, we all agree.
You just sat there. This caller just said Peyton Manning. I can't. Peyton Manning was a shell of any close to himself.
I agree.
Peyton Manning didn't win that damn Super Bowl.
I agree. Their defense did.
Peyton Manning Peyton Manning barely played that
But see, here's going to be the challenge for you. Here's going to be the challenge for you, Key. It's the fact that these guys are bubble wrapped a certain way when you look at their overall career. And even though I know you're in the trenches on the nuances of it, somebody's still going to look back and say, well, that's Peyton Manning. That's a Hall of Famer.
If I drop Kirk Cousins
on
a stacked team.
No. I'm not going to believe in
the
Kirk
moment
Cousins.
of truth, Peyton Manning's going to make better decisions.
Exactly, Max.
In the moment of truth, he was throwing knuckleballs at that in the Denver championship.
But understand,
stop, man.
He and Osweiler were both on the roster.
Stop.
They had to sit Osweiler, right? There's a reason they did that. Why didn't they sit Peyton heading into the Super Bowl? They sat the other guy.
Most teams that make it to the Super Bowl, they have quarterbacks that have capabilities of helping them get to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the year that they went to the Super Bowl that quarterback was playing at an MVP level.
Agree. But
that's not what Max is saying.
But they're still special guys, Key. Peyton Manning's a special guy. Stafford, whatever you want to say. There's a reason he goes one.
At that time, his name was special.
Stafford's name was special? That's why they traded.
Aaron Donald was the MVP of that team.
That's fine, but Stafford was excellent, or they wouldn't have moved on from Goff. Very good.
See, I don't count
Shanahan had Goff, #1 pick, very good, right?
You mean
McVay?
You're getting your skis ahead of yourself.
I said Shanahan. McVay. Yeah. You know, hey, Key, as you would say, same thing.
Max.
Key, as you would say, same thing.
Yeah.
But the point is, McVay had a good guy there and said, no, I need more. Looked at Stafford, said, that gives me more. Traded multiple firsts to get him. Don't say Stafford's the same thing because he wouldn't have traded multiple firsts if not.
You may run some things different with Matthew Stafford than you did Jared Goff that you like from an offensive standpoint. Mm-hmm. But you can't sit here and tell me that Jared Goff didn't take that team to the damn Super Bowl. Okay? Because he took them to the Super Bowl. He just ran up against Bill Belichick and Gerard Mayo and Brian Flores and company, and they didn't win the Super Bowl. Okay? You want to know another team? You want to know another team?
That's the point.
Speaking of getting to the Super Bowl,
yeah.
You getting ready to try to convince me that Jimmy Garoppolo's a damn MVP? Stop it, Max.
No, I'm not.
They went to the Super Bowl.
They didn't
win it.
That's the
they didn't win
point.
it.
It was a throwaway.
But he didn't make the throw.
I've seen the star-studded quarterbacks miss that same throw, not only in the regular season, but in the Super Bowl.
We understand it's possible. It's just getting increasingly unlikely.
Well, okay, so wait. What would the probability be, Key, of a non-superstar quarterback winning it? Because I think we're all hovering around the same point.
Well, if you
what percentage out of 100 would you say? a non-superstar quarterback.
What's his team look like?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, we talked about
We're all
Joe
talking about
Flacco,
good teams here. They
historic
wouldn't be there.
defense. Even the Rams, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, historic defense to a degree, right?
Those are nice defense.
Brad Johnson, historic defense.
Historic defense.
Right? Same thing. Nick
But
Foles.
The defense was good, but
Yes.
they also came up creative from Doug Peterson on a couple plays that changed the outcome of the game.
That's my point. So what percentage would you say? If
Man,
you don't have
I probably would say
30?
50-50, to be honest with you.
50-50.
Nah,
I would.
just
It's
do
like-
the
it's like
numbers. It's not
37.
50-50.
It's like 30.
Here's what I would say. The problem that you have is bad quarterbacks are on bad teams. That's part of the problem. That's why they go out to get good quarterbacks. If Tom Brady was on this San Francisco 49er team, you never know what might happen.
Yeah.
And he might not even needed to do nothing but stay healthy. If Brock Purdy just stayed healthy, maybe it's a different outcome.
Price in Hampton,
Maybe
Virginia.
it's a different outcome.
Price in Hampton, Virginia. You're on with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I gotta agree with all of y'all. Max is right. You do have to have an MVP caliber quarterback to make it to the Super Bowl in today's game. But Key is right too. You don't have to have it to win it. And Jay, you missed one person from your list.
Who?
Trent Dilfer from the Baltimore Ravens.
Dilfer's the
Yeah,
ultimate example.
Yeah, I missed him by 1 year because I went 20 years out, yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. My mind goes to Trent Dilfer when I think, can you still win a Super Bowl if Trent Dilfer's your quarterback?
What year was that?
I mean,
What year was that, Max?
You're going back to what?
You're going like 21 years ago. So all I'm saying is, where has the game of football gone since
That's what
then?
I'm asking.
Like the game has been more volume possessions,
Yes.
more offense, more quarterbacks airing the ball out, more air raid systems.
And boy, Key, I know you can. Trent Dilfer can have a great game. Like in hockey, they'll say a goalie standing on his head, right? So he could stand on his head in a sense, in the football sense, as a quarterback and go nuts, and you can win it, but you got to get there too. So can you, Trent Dilfer's your quarterback. You ain't got nothing on the roster more talented than him at quarterback. You have a loaded team. Can you still win the Super Bowl? And by that we mean, is it possible? Of course there's a possibility. Everything breaks right. But it's very small. Like at a certain point, you need more.
When teams are loaded, they win the Super Bowl, man.
Do you remember what Matthew Stafford had to do when Tom Brady came back on him?
When teams
do you remember
are loaded,
that throw he had
they
to make
win.
down the field?
When teams are loaded, they win the Super Bowl.
No
one's saying that Matthew Stafford is not a good quarterback. No one's saying that. He is certainly a good quarterback. There will be debate at the end of his career whether or not he belongs in Canton.
Yeah.
That's not the argument. Okay? Jared Goff took him to the Super Bowl. So that to me, you can argue whether Jared Goff is good enough and Sean McVay wanted to move on from Jared Goff for a number of reasons. Reasons that I do not care to share with the public.
Okay, you are the first guy to say, did he really take him to the Super Bowl or was he just there on a great team? You're the first guy to say that.
He took him to the Super Bowl.
Okay, good. Just remember, Key is on that.
The dude was lights out
Okay,
that year.
I agree. I don't say he took him there, but Goff was very good that year. Very good.
It's semantics. You want to say take him there? He was on the team on the magic carpet ride. Whatever your radio voice wants to say, your radio brain. He was part of a good team, and they went to the Super Bowl. I've seen quarterbacks in this league that did not play well come playoff time, but it hit when it mattered the most.
Jay, let's switch it up. Do you need a guy who will one day be considered for the Hall of Fame to win the Super Bowl, right? Because now that eliminate that. Now Stafford will be considered, Eli will be considered, right? Trent Dilfer will not, Nick Foles will not. Now we can separate.
Joe Flacco will be considered,
Jared Goff will not.
Joe, you don't think Joe Flacco?
Flacco will not. He will not.
He's a three-time All-Pro. I mean, he's top 20 in all-time passing yards.
But okay, that's a borderline case. Look,
he's borderline.
He's real ranking coming up.
He's borderline.
No, borderline for consideration.
He has 2 Super Bowl appearances.
I am not going to let people
2013
smash
MVP
you on social media.
Okay.
No, he's not saying he's borderline to get in. He's saying it's borderline for consideration. I agree with that. That's another level
I don't know
down.
that he's borderline for consideration either.
All right.
Key's real rankings, top 5 playoff teams that will not return to the postseason next year after Jay has this word from Dollar Shave.
Still overpaid.